Rap.
Me as well. Minus the Mike Brown, it sounds pretty much like Boston too.
Very true. Boston is pretty much kind of hanging around the 8th seed, 9th seed in the NBA right now.
Well, they've gone on a little run here lately. They're starting to pull away a little more W's than they were at the beginning of the season.
They should. It's the East.
Well, and they took a big L today against the Lakers. I mean, Lakers who are in turmoil right now, losing to Detroit, losing at home to a terrible Washington Wizards team. I'm sorry, that was on the road. They lost in D.C., but they were up 21. Yeah, they were up 21 points in that game. So I don't know if either of these teams are really going to make a deep run right now in the playoffs. 76ers, this is a team that we've been looking at for a while in Philadelphia. They just knocked off the Knicks, and the Knicks are reeling right now.
It's because they are not good. You know why? They don't play defense.
Exactly.
You don't play defense, don't be surprised when you lose.
This is what Amari does. Defense. and then he goes.
It's like an Audubon, Gons. Come on,
exactly.
Get on the Audubon, get straight to the hoop.
I'm gonna go to pick and roll city over here. Yeah. You go knock it out over there.
Yeah.
They don't have
horrible.
They don't have paint at the Garden. They have a red carpet.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
have a landing area. You come right here and score, and then I'll go score over there.
As a Rockets fan, I'm thrilled, though. I hope they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's get that lottery pick.
Absolutely. Still paying off that T-Mac trade.
Let's do it.
But I think Carmelo's taken a lot of the heat here recently. I hear they're like 2-7 since Carmelo's came back.
That's what a lot of critics of the New York Knicks were afraid of.
You know what it's also about? That schedule. They're actually playing a formidable schedule and actually have to play some decent teams. And surprise, surprise, they're not doing so well.
Another surprise going into the All-Star break was the Indiana Pacers. Now, they've kind of cooled off since the All-Star break. Now, we thought a lot of these young teams would do that as some of the veteran teams get healthy, get their offense in order, get their defense in order, and start to really play basketball heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm still expecting those young teams to carry it, though, because they have the fresh legs. We're getting into the really, really tough part of the schedule, which is I've already logged these heavy minutes. Now I'm still being asked to do 3 and 4 nights. So,
what did Chris Lord call it? Lockout legs. I like that.
Lockout legs, yeah, it's true, and those guys see it firsthand every night down there at Toyota Center. And the Rockets have been away from Toyota Center for quite a while now, guys. They've got a long road trip, and they're not going to be back at home until Wednesday.
What's it, 5 of the next 6 on the road?
Yeah, trying to pull it together on the road, man, with the loss of Kyle Lowry now that Jordan Hill's back.
Meanwhile, Kyle Lowry's sitting in a hospital room. He's not
got
even
the flu, right?
He's not even out of the hospital. They said it could be even worse than the flu.
I feel sorry for your car. Dang.
Well,
you guys you got Rubio out and you got Kyle Lowry out.
Hey, Kyle Lowry will be back in no time.
Yeah, somehow they were whooping the hell out of the Nets, and then they gave up the lead, and then they salvaged it at the very end. I was very frustrated though. I thought it was gonna be a Nets win. I was like, the Rockets lost. Yeah.
You're like, come on, Prokhorov.
Come on, Terrence Williams. I know you're a knucklehead.
But how about that? How about that Gerald Green dunk? Where was that when he was on the Rockets?
That's a good question. I posted that on the blog. That is a nasty windmill dunk.
Absolutely. We threw it out there on our Twitter at Sports Rap Live. That's Rap with 2 P's. You guys can check that out or check it out on the homepage, powered by amphouston.net. Happy birthday to Martin, of course, who's always out here representing Amp Houston for our big podcast extravaganza like we're doing right here at Dave & Buster's tonight, right in the Marquee Center. Shout out to the executive producer. Refreshing. And I don't know about this Rockets team. They're really – I'm curious to see about this bet because they're really going to be fighting for that last playoff spot with as close as the West is there from the bottom half of the tournament.
Lottery.
I'm all about the lottery. I'm sorry, as the executive producer, I have to say you are not allowed to disparage the Houston Rockets basketball organization.
No disparaging.
Yeah, well, you know about our bet, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
As you can see, I'm not even looking at him. I'm not even looking at him.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking about the long-term future of this team.
I'm all about the Rockets making the playoffs.
I'm thinking about the long-term future of this organization and this franchise, and I think we're better served getting into the lottery and getting a couple of good players.
I hope so.
Hey, we may be better served come 3 p.m. Thursday when the NBA trade deadline goes down.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to ask. What do you guys think about the trade deadline? Do you think if the Rockets word has it now the Rockets could rent Dwight Howard.
Or Captain Flopper.
Oh.
I think renting Dwight Howard would be the worst possible move they could ever make.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. When you brought that up, I was like, are you kidding me?
That's a terrible idea.
You're going to mortgage some picks?
This sounds like soccer
Hey,
talk.
they'll make the playoffs.
That sounds like some soccer.
Oh, okay.
That's all about the Kobe's now.
No, but I mean, you look at this team. They're not set up. They are 1 star away. That's where they've kind of been building towards, is having that one next player. But what are you going to do after this season? This Rockets team, even if they did have Dwight Howard, they're not going to win the championship. So if you know you're not going to have enough firepower to contend with the Oklahoma Cities, maybe even the Lakers, some of these other teams that are good, the Clippers, the Spurs, you're not beating any of these teams with the team you have plus Dwight Howard.
Well, I think you got a lot of hustle, you got a lot of grit, you got a lot of talent. But to me, this team is still kind of struggling to find that identity under Kevin McHale. And until they do that, I mean, how do you know what to expect each and every night? And that's what we're seeing on the floor.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, we don't expect, other than maybe a couple moves here or there, we really don't expect the Rockets to make any blockbuster trade because they have no pieces to do so. And I'll tell you what, if you want to get the finest pieces out there, you're going to head down to BC Smoke Shop for the finest in glass works, the best artists, exclusive pieces that you can only find there at BC Smoke Shop. And of course, right here on the table, we have our Rat Pack special coupons. If you want to head down there and get yourself a nice vintage ashtray, a nice piece, for the house, for your studio, you're going to head down there to 2 Houston area locations, 7909 Westheimer between Voss and Fondren, or if you head out to the northwest side, right there at 1960 and Jones Road, and that is BC Smoke Shop. Follow them on Twitter at BC Smoke Shop West. As you hear that Outcast bump in the background, because you can ride around, you can get it to this beat.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get into a couple more NBA topics before we shift gears to the NFL, because I know there's some NFL nuggets that we got to get into. I don't know if it's just this year and it's the way that this 66-game season is playing out, but to me it looks like the Miami Heat are on a collision course to face whoever comes out of the West for an NBA title.
Well, the Mavericks have that championship hangover.
Majorly.
And I think the Miami Heat had a hangover of their own. And they obviously were one of the teams that did put in work during that extended offseason, and I think it's showing right now on the floor.
I'm not picking that Miami team to do anything until LeBron shows some serious growth in the fourth quarter and as a leader. He has to show me something. That last game they played, was it last night, where he sort of took the last shot, it didn't go his way, they got the rebound, and then he was like, you know what, I can't do this, and gave it to the real closer on that team.
Wade.
Yeah, and Wade took the shot and he made it, and he figured out with 0.1 left. So until they get a clear pecking order of, I am no longer going to try and take the last shot, I'm just going to give you the ball, and hopefully you're healthy enough to be in that game. Until they get that whole situation figured out, I'm not picking that Miami team to do anything.
Well, do you pick them to come out of the East at least?
No.
You have a team in the East that you think could rise up and beat
Sure,
them?
Chicago, they've lost to worse teams than Chicago. I mean, they've lost to Miami, to Orlando teams before. They've lost to, they've had pretty good runs, but I'm not ready to commit anything to any sort of resources to that team or any sort of commitment to that team until LeBron James shows some sort of growth in the fourth quarter. And I think he did last night in giving that ball to Dwayne Wade and saying, look, you're the end of the game closer. Finish it out for me.
I'll get the dime.
I'm happy he took that shot, though. That shows at least some want to. Granted, it was against, who were they playing last night that I was like, oh, that really didn't matter. I think it might have been Indiana.
No, they played,
I'm not sure they played last night, but it was that game, and I was like, you know what? At least he showed some want to take the last shot. But then the fact that he didn't make it, and he was like, okay, your turn, Wade.
Well, that's good. That's good. And, LeBron's never been ashamed to pass the ball at the end of a game. It doesn't matter.
That's the problem.
Played the Pacers.
Pacers.
Oh,
Yep,
Pacers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the problem, though, is him passing the ball.
It
that's just who he is, but
went to overtime.
Yeah, it did.
Blame it on LeBron.
Blame it on LeBron, as they say. As they say. He just cannot catch a break until he wins.
it's his fault, though. It's his doing.
Yeah.
It's all his doing, and he can undo it as well. He has the power. So.
All right.
Do they necessarily need LeBron to be the closer, though, with D-Wade on that team?
No, absolutely not.
But just figure it out.
Absolutely not.
Figure out what you're going to do at the end of those game situations. Because they have no plan at the end of games.
No.
They don't. They have zero plan as to what they're going to do on the final possession. It's shown in the last game. It's shown that game whenever LeBron gave the pass. You think Haslam was thinking, okay, LeBron's got the ball. There's a chance I could get it? And but he probably thought LeBron was going to take a shot.
I would say it somewhat got better because last year they were horrible in the fourth quarter. Like, once that 2-minute came, it was like, okay. It was even to the point where, like, Wade and Bosh didn't really know how to fit into that system. Like, now it's like, okay, you can see Wade kind of be like, you know what? Let me just start making it happen. As opposed to, like, last year it was just like, let's see what happens.
If Wade doesn't make that his team in the last 2 minutes or 5 minutes of a game, they're going to lose the game.
And it's becoming more apparent that that's his quarter now. It's like fourth quarter.
All right, well, it's getting to be the fourth quarter here on Sports Wrap Live as we get to the bottom of the hour. It is 9:30.
Air hockey time, baby.
I know Gon's ready to get out there and play some air hockey.
Nah, I got to go to work.
Shout out Sundays.
Oh, no, we're not even there yet. We still got to talk some baseball. We got to talk some NFL. But I
Oh,
want to
wow.
give away. I want to give away.
Peyton Manning going to Arizona? Yeah.
Look, we got some swag over here from our boy Conrad and Sarah, of course, right here on the Sports Talk 790 swag table.
Swag
And that's
table.
the OG swag, not like the kids have today, but like swag bags. I mean, if you
They
want
got that whole cup stack.
oh, of course, you got
stacking
cups
right
over
there.
here. You got frisbees, T-shirts, balls. I mean, what else do you want?
Kadoma still got tickets.
I think we should give away. We got 2 more pairs.
Two pairs
Let's
of
give
Rockets
away
tickets.
another pair of Rockets tickets. Anybody in the back over here listening that wants to win a pair of Rockets tickets, Kadoma, why don't you tell us about the game that we're giving away for?
Man, we are giving away for the Rockets, giving away tickets to the Rockets homecoming game this Wednesday versus the Charlotte Bobcats.
You know that's a win.
That's a W.
That is
Hey,
that's an
that
in
better
the
be.
bank win.
You never know who might be in the building. MJ himself might be there to watch the team lose up close and in person.
You never know. You never know. So if you want to get these Rockets tickets, you need to make your way right up here to the table. And first female who is a Rockets fan that comes up to the table right now will get these tickets. So if you're in the back right now and you want to come up here and get a pair of Rockets tickets, please make
don't
your
be
way up to the
shy.
table. Oh, wait.
Here she comes.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. Well,
She
we're
wants
gonna
to go
put
see
you.
the game.
We're gonna put you on the show, and you got to tell us your name, Andrea. So you are a Rockets fan.
Yes.
Are you from Houston?
No.
Where are you from?
LA.
From LA. So do you cheer for the Lakers as well?
No comment.
No comment.
How
All right.
about-
That's
So
all right. I root for Kobe. I root for Kobe openly.
he does. Are you? You love Houston. You love the Rockets. All right. Who's your favorite Rocket of all time?
Akeem Olajuwon.
Give that girl the tickets.
The
Nice.
dream.
Good
It's a
answer.
dream. Number 34. All right, Andre, enjoy yourself at the game. Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. Hey, we still got plenty more. Yeah, we'll get a photo right here. Of course, Andrea wins the tickets. Guys, throw it up. Throw the H up. Right here. And of course, those tickets are courtesy of Sports Talk 790. Make sure you tune in to Sports Wrap Live, Andrea, and tell your friends. Take your friend over here. She wants to go to the game, too. I bet you'd be stunting at the game, huh? Look at me. Rest in peace, Pimp C. Woo! All right, guys, let's move on to some NFL topics.
Manning to Arizona.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you brought up Arizona.
Denver.
Because,
We got to talk about Denver too.
all right,
He
so
was hanging around for a while.
I know what happened, Bud Payton. All of a sudden, he's just cool.
He's on tour. He's like the Beatles. He's coming to your town.
You never know.
Coming
Well,
to your
apparently,
city.
he might not. He
Manning's
might not
fever.
make it. He might not even make it past Arizona. He's gone from Denver to Arizona.
I don't know, because Denver put out a good promotional tape.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What did they put the
It
highlights?
was a PSA, like, come to Denver. Here's why. Edit mountains. They pretty much said, look at the mountains. I don't
Bottom
care about
line,
no mountains.
bottom line, they better have said we will trade Tebow.
Oh,
They're gonna.
they had a like a digital banner, like voting. Who'd rather have Manning than Tebow? That sucks if you're Tebow and you see that banner up.
Well,
like,
I think
Sorry,
it's already come
bud.
out. It's word started to trickle out
Man.
that he is going to get traded.
Yeah.
they
Oh
sign
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah. Well, they would have to. There's no way that you're gonna have Peyton Manning come into camp and those fans still chant for Tebow. There's
Hey,
no way.
You won't see Peyton Tebowing with that neck.
I don't think he can get down that low. Oh my God. Well, hey, there's been some other talk, of course. You know, Mario Williams was not franchised as I thought he would be. The Texans decided to go with no franchise tags this year as they lock up Arian Foster. Shout out to Arian Foster who joined us on our last episode. Of course, it is Shout Out Sundays. You know how we do.
I forgot to ask him what kind of fruit basket he got his mom. If it was like the edible arrangements type, or like, you put all the Chiquita bananas and everything like that.
I bet you he went all out.
I was curious. Forgot to ask him that.
I bet you he went all out on that fruit basket.
I read today, though, that there's still a 50-50 chance that Mario could sign with the Texans. I think that's completely bogus. I think there's a 100% chance that he's gone.
Yeah.
There's no way we're bringing him back. He's way too expensive. He would probably cost us being able to resign maybe D'Amico, maybe Chris Myers as center. I mean, you realize that we're talking about wide receiver needs in the draft. We would have to draft a center first round.
Yep.
That's what we'd have to do if we sign Mario.
He's going to get that Julius Peppers money.
He is, and it's not going to be with the Texans.
No, exactly.
And they say that the Chargers and the Seahawks have already shown interest in him, so his ears are ringing, knowing that the opportunity is knocking right now for Mario.
I sure wouldn't mind seeing Mario in a Chargers uniform. They need it because Sean Phillips, he can't carry that D-line, and he's been carrying that D-line for a long time because Sean Merriman didn't pan out, Lights Out didn't pan out. I mean, they need some help on that line. So.
Speaking of defensive linemen, did you see who was riding 91 in a 55 this past weekend?
No, who's that?
Namakan Sue.
Oh.
Dude got hit with 3 tickets.
Oh, wow. That guy
has a serious problem with driving.
Out of trouble.
I figured he would have got his license revoked already.
I'm surprised he hasn't already.
I know.
That's
the guy
pretty
can't
shocking.
get right.
Oh, it's not shocking because the guy cannot stay out of the news. Apparently, he's got a lead foot.
He's just not a very good driver.
No.
I mean, he's just not.
And it sucks he's in Detroit because, like, it would have literally fit the whole subway thing if he was in NY. Like, dude, just take the bus. Take a subway. Take a trolley car.
Get a driver.
Jesus. Hire a driver, exactly.
I think you make enough money to hire a driver.
Exactly.
Am I right? Or am I right? Well, where does this put? Okay, let's say, first of all, let me ask you, where does Peyton Manning end up? Denver or Arizona?
Antina's and I say Arizona.
Yeah, we're on Team Arizona.
And
we're on Team Larry Fitzgerald.
The main reason that I choose Arizona is I don't see Peyton Manning going to play on grass this late in his career.
In the wintertime in Denver.
Viciousin, Arizona has a grass field, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
And it's a dome.
But it's in a
but
dome.
It's in a dome.
It's in a dome. I agree.
Okay,
You're talking about cold, hard grass.
I thought it was that tire turf.
It's not Chicago. I mean, that's a terrible field to play on.
So they have some of that reliant
grass.
Well, yeah,
but
I think
it's
like
not that
grass.
Bermuda type,
No doubt, no doubt. So, Team Arizona over here, Gons, what do you say?
I'm going Arizona, man. I was going to go Miami, Tony Montana style, but
yeah.
Nah, I don't see it happening.
Arizona, huh? I just think it's going to be interesting. He's never going to get a shot to play his brother in the Super Bowl again.
I would think the thing with it is, like, it's got to suck for Cobb because, like, Fitzgerald is just all like, Peyton, come on, brother, come on.
Oh, yeah, he showed up at the meeting.
Kurt Warner was kind of saying how, like, Wisenhunt was open with him to basically give him freedom to do his own, plays that were better situate for his style of play. And I know that's huge for Manning. Like, give me the playbook. Let me write my version of the playbook. And the coach is like, yeah, here, do it. I think that's a big plus, too. And having a go-to receiver like Miami, there's really not that go-to guy.
Do you guys still think we'll see a decision made in the next week or so?
It's going to be made by Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be done by Wednesday.
Seems like he's really taking his time getting around to these teams.
Oh no, he's doing pretty quick. It's going to be done probably in the next 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's been a few days. He's been to 2 teams.
But I mean, it's been less than a week. I think he's going to have the decision. He wants to have it done by Tuesday morning when free agency hits.
For OTAs, yeah. Yep.
So I think it's going to be done pretty quickly. Like we
so
can
you're really
we
looking
can hear
at
tomorrow.
Denver and Arizona.
Wow.
Yep.
Coin flip.
All right, Andrew, should we keep our eyes on the diamond?
Yeah, I got some stuff for us.
Awesome. Let's do that. We're going to take it right back home to the NL Central, and we'll get into the Astros as we get closer. We get back on the air through March Madness, where we're live on Sports Talk 790 to give our Astros preview. But right now, let's run down the NL Central, and we will finish up with the Astros before we get into a little soccer talk with Luis.
The Cardinals, right off the bat, they lost Albert Pujols. That's a really big deal. They brought in Carlos Beltran to kind of subsidize that. They re-signed Rafael Furcal. Other than that, they really didn't lose too many big pieces. Edwin Jackson, sort of a big piece from their championship team. He's gone on to other places right now. It's it's a really interesting team because what do you do when you lose the biggest, best hitter in the National League for years?
Right.
You know, how do you replace that kind of guy? It's sort of impossible to. They're still going to have Lance Berkman. They're still going to have Matt Holliday. They signed Yadier Molina to an extended deal to try and keep him. The pitching
Some
staff.
people say Yadier Molina is the best catcher in the game.
Defensively, yeah, you can maybe say that.
Yeah, but I would say offensively not. I mean, Napoli's just a beast. You know,
Right.
I think he moved over to first, but I was gonna say with the pitcher with Carpenter, he was actually having an injury to his arm. I'm just kind of curious with the whole tandem with him and Wainwright, how that's gonna be, and definitely with the hitters too, with like Freeze and everyone, how they're gonna go about pitching. Like they're gonna be way more aggressive because you don't have Pujols there. So I'm really curious to see as far as their offensive production, how it's going to be.
It's interesting you say that because the rest of this division really hasn't gotten away from them, though. You might have thought, oh, man, the Brewers, but then look what the Brewers just did. You know, they lost Prince Fielder.
Right.
I still think Ryan Braun's going to miss 50 games.
Yeah.
Like, even though that suspension didn't really stick, it got revoked or whatever, I still think Major League Baseball is going to find a way to stick it to him and have that appeal overturned. So we'll see. But, yeah, the Cardinals team, it's pretty much the same from last year, minus the major Albert Pujols signing.
Sure.
But
who's playing first base?
it's probably going to be Lance Berkman.
Yeah.
So
Lion's share.
yeah, they're one of those teams that no matter what, they're kind of like the Kansas of the Big 12. You know, they're like that of the NL Central. No matter what year it is, really, you can pencil in the Cardinals for first or second place. That's just how good they are.
Right.
So I'm not really too worried about them.
All right.
Moving
Well,
on.
you mentioned the Brewers. Let's talk about the Brewers
Okay.
a little bit. Now, the Brewers, they basically. They, same as the Cardinals, lost their big bopper, their first baseman, to a free agency deal in the American League. So how do they replace that offensive output?
Well, they're going to have Aramis Ramirez at third base. They kind of had Casey McGahee for a while, and he had started off to a really hot start, but never really kept it up. Outside of that, not a whole lot of moves. They brought in, they also lost Uniansky Betancourt, which isn't that big of a deal in my opinion. They're still going to have Ryan Braun, and they have Aramis Ramirez and Corey Hart. Matt Gamble, though, he's a kid that I've been kind of watching for a while. He needs to take that next step and be ready for that next step because he's going to be their everyday first baseman. They've been waiting around for this kid to kind of see what was going to happen with Prince Fielder, so it's his time to step up. The rotation has been much improved after the Greinke trade. And they still have Yovani Gallardo. They still have him, Greinke. Still have Markham. Still have Randy Wolf. You know, I think this team could potentially still challenge for the divisional title. So it's just around the Braun thing. It's going to be really huge if he can stay the whole for that 50 games.
Sure. Well, that's what his teammates are thinking too.
Right.
Especially after losing Prince Fielder. All right, well, let's get into the Reds. Now, a lot of people are picking the Reds to win this division this year.
I'm picking the Reds to win. I picked the Reds to win the division last year, and I still think that they have that sort of team from the couple years ago that can still do it. Mostly because I think the pitching staff has improved. You look at the trades they made. They traded a lot of their farm team, Yonder Alonso, Yasmani Grandal, and Edison Volquez, three guys who could have contributed this year, for Matt Latos. Latos is probably a 1 or a 2 from San Diego, so I think that's going to help them. They've also made some other deals here and there to kind of help them bolster the pitching staff. So now you're going to have a staff of Johnny Cueto, Matt Latos, Mike Leake. I think that's a pretty decent 1, 2, 3. Bronson Arroyo, I think, is pretty much past his prime. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Aroldis Chapman. We've been waiting to see if this guy's going to be able to be the starter we think he can be or the closer. They're going to try and keep him in that starting role. So I'm interested to see, with the Cuban Missile. That's a guy who can
We'll
touch
see if his gas stays up.
Yeah, if he can hit that 101, 102. Because he started as a pitcher whenever he first came up, as a starter whenever he first came up. So it'll be interesting. The lineup is still pretty much the same. You're going to have Zach Cozart now at shortstop. Other than that, not many changes.
Joey Votto.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep him in a couple years, though, whenever he hits arbitration. Well,
Absolutely.
his free agent years.
He
so
could get some of that Prince Fielder, Albert Pujols money.
He could. And for
Absolutely.
closer, they brought in Ryan Madsen, who had been with the Phillies before. So I think this team is better. I'm not sure the numbers kind of project that. I've seen some of the projections for the Reds, and they're not very nice to their pitching staff. But I think this team is a little bit better than what they show there.
All right. Well, now the Cubs, whole new regime there. You got new ownership. You got a new GM.
Yep.
You got Theo Epstein in.
Yep.
So we'll have to see what this Cubs team does.
They're still terrible.
They really did not make any moves at all.
No. I mean, look at who they have. They're still going to have Matt Garza. They tried to trade him in the offseason because they're trying to get some guys.
Carlos Pena, goodbye.
Yeah, they really didn't need him so much. They brought in Anthony Rizzo at first base, and Rizzo will probably be in the minors for a while, and then we'll see what he can do if he gets back up there. They traded Carlos Zambrano, which that probably needed to happen a long time ago because he never really could seem to get his head on straight in Chicago.
He's in Miami with Ozzy now.
Yeah.
He's on the crazy train.
Oh, yeah.
They traded
he's been
Tyler
riding that
Colvin.
crazy train.
Colvin can never really get his head on straight either. They lost Aramis Ramirez. They lost Kerry Wood.
That guy was such a disappointment for me. Aramis, he had that one good season and just kind of plateaued, but kind of started having
He
like
got hurt. He had
numbers.
some injuries and stuff. So I think this pitching staff, though, Adam, is going to be terrible. Matt Garza, pretty good. Ryan Dempster, pretty good. But after that, it falls off to Randy Wells, who had a terrible last season. Paul Mahone, who's not very proven. Chris Volstead, who's not very proven. And Travis Wood, who wasn't very good with the Reds either. I just don't see where that team's going to come up with the pitching. I also don't see where they're going to come up with the offense. Your number 2 hitter is Marlon Byrd. That's acceptable, I guess. Your number 3 hitter is Starlin Castro. That, to me, is not acceptable. He doesn't have enough power to really hit. And their 4 hitter is Alfonso Soriano. And that just shows how old that. After that, it's Brian LaHare, Giovanni Soto, Ewan Stewart, Darwin Barney. They really don't have a zero power on that team. It's not going to be a very good team at all. I think the Cubs could. They could challenge for the Astros for one of the worst the last places in the division.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Astros.
Let's get to the Pirates right before them.
Oh, that's right. The Pirates are still in this division, too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, they actually flirted with being 500 last year. Remember, they were actually leading the division for a while last year.
Till the All-Star break.
Yeah. I think this team has a lot of interesting talent. They still have Andrew McCutchen,
which
Neil Walker.
They signed up.
Yeah, for a while for him.
For a pretty long-term deal.
Pedro Alvarez has sort of flamed out. He came up as a hot prospect at third base. We'll see if he can get his act together. They still have a lot of nice guys. Their rotation, they added Eric Bedard, who is very injury-prone. He was with, sort of with the Orioles and then with the Mariners. After that, Jeff Carsons and Jeff McDonald. This rotation still isn't very good. Neither Charlie Morton.
Bronson Arroyo. Sorry.
I just don't think they made any really legit moves to help this team. I think they're trying to save up to when this team is ready to win, and they're going to try and make those moves.
Win in another 20 years?
We'll see. I think Pedro Alvarez, he really needs to step up this year, though, and make a significant contribution with his bat.
I hope so.
We'll see. And that leaves the Astros.
So you have the Cubs, the Pirates, and the Astros all fighting for the worst record in the NL Central.
They're all really bad.
Oh, God.
They're all really, really bad. Those teams don't have a lot of pitching depth. They don't have very good offenses, and there's no real help on the way.
Do you think they lose 100 games?
I'm not sure any of these teams lose 100 games, only because
they're going to beat up on each other?
Yeah, they're going to kind of cancel all of each other out. I think they could probably end up – it's going to be anywhere from 85 to 95, though.
I'm just curious because I know they ended up going – I don't know if it was 110 losses last year?
No, it was
like 101 or 102.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
110 would be absolutely horrendous.
Well, they were about 9 off.
So. Well, but that's big, though. That's
you look okay. So in Gonz's defense, I think they could be that bad only because look at the team they had last year. This team is worse than that team.
God.
Because look, last year they had Michael Bourne, right, to start the season. Now you're not going to have Bourne for the whole season. Last year you had Hunter Pence to start the season. Now he's not here for the whole season.
It was pretty much last year was the Phillies farm system. Is basically what it ended up being. They were like,
here's the lineup: Jordan Schaefer, a slappy, Jose Altuve, my boy.
Yeah.
He's a good hitter. He's the number 2 hitter. JD Martinez.
He hit an inside the park home run in that game last year.
JD Martinez,
Your cousin.
Not a lot of power. Carlos Lee at the 4 hitter.
Oh, God.
I guess. Brian Bogusevic at the 5 hole. Jed Lowry.
Slappy.
Jimmy Paredes.
Slappy.
And Jason Castro, who's going to be a rookie.
God.
So, and here's the scary part is the rotation. Okay, you have Brett Myers. Well, now he's the closer. Okay, so he's no longer in your starting rotation. Wandy, he's probably going to get traded.
Hello.
So now you're looking at who's your number 1 now? Bud Norris, J.A. Happ, Livan Hernandez, Jordan Lyles. This rotation is probably going to be – it's going to challenge for the worst in the NL probably.
Sad to say, the worst ever?
No, it's going to challenge for the worst pitching rotation in the National League, though.
Well, that's what I mean. And the worst ever for the Astros. They could put up some worst ever stats.
Bud Norris, J.A. Happ, Livan Hernandez – Jordan Lyles, and a 5th starter.
God.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Over, under on 110 losses.
Over.
You're taking the over?
Yeah.
111
And here's the other
losses.
thing is Brett Wallace, I didn't mention him. He regressed significantly last year. So I don't know what to tell you about him either.
As we all wear our 50th anniversary Astros caps tonight.
It's still a nice hat.
I know, it's a great hat. I love the fact that they Major League Baseball allowed the Colt 45 uniforms to come back after maybe, thank you, Ruben. After, there was some controversy there that they might be a little too violent with a pistol
The
on
only
the
thing I
front.
can say positive about the season is Friday is going to be Throwback Fridays.
Yes.
And that this team is pretty much going to be an open audition for anyone.
And
So if anyone steps up to the plate, they're probably going to be a very cheap young player for the team to have.
Oh, exactly. You can bring your own drinks, too.
There you go. There you
The
go.
plus?
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'm going to start off Shout Out Sunday, right, Bun B?
Hold on, I have to interrupt on Gons. You can bring your own drinks, but not the kind of drinks that DJ Gons would want to bring to it.
Sir, did you see my
Like
accomplished?
Fiji water? No, you won't be able to bring, because you will pour out the Fiji water and replace it with some clear type of substance. So we gotta be careful about guys like you.
Hey, wait a minute. Shout out to Accomplice Clothing.
Uh-oh.
That's all I got to say. All right, well,
It's
shout
just,
out
it's just
Sundays.
Red Bull.
I got to start with Soccer Talk and Luis, because if you guys didn't tune into the show, you missed a hell of a show, one of our best shows ever. And I'll start out Shout Out Sundays with Arian Foster for being such a great example of how you can stay humble and stay hungry and still be an all-pro running back.
Definitely.
Shout out to Paul Wall, the people's champ, for joining us on his No Sleep Until Houston campaign and jumping on the line with us and Arian. Shout out to Doe Beasy for all the work he has put in for his city and put it down, and his art. Blue Magic is now available for download. Of course, if you don't have it already, make sure y'all pick it up. But I'm going to shout out you, since you're here tonight, Soccer Talker Luis,
Doing it big.
for getting the Dynamo head coach, Dominic Kinnear, on before, absolutely,
Big up,
before
Luis.
their season opening win tonight. Now, why don't you give us some insight on the game tonight, Luis?
Oh man, almost died of a heart attack tonight. They got the win, but at stoppage time, like they did last year, man. They came through at the clutch, stoppage time, scored a goal, game-winning goal. They finally snapped that 5-game losing streak for opening day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that's a
so,
great stat.
Great win, especially on the road, since they were one of the worst teams on the road last year. They could keep it up, win a few games on the road before the new stadium. Man, we could be back in the MLS Cup this year.
Now tell everybody out there they played Chivas.
Chivas USA.
Where does this Chivas team rank as far as MLS dominance goes?
Where is Chivas on the map?
They're in East LA or LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a liquor.
Not Chivas, Regal.
Oh. I was confused. I was confused.
Soccer Talker Luis knows, man. He knows what's
Coming
up.
with jokes over here.
All right, so how do they stack up against the Dynamo? Like, as far as like fan viewership in the MLS, is Chivas kind of the little brother to the Dynamo in LA?
Chivas are like the Clippers to the Lakers, because they have the
Great
Galaxy
analogy.
and the Chivas USA.
Right.
So yeah, and they're
How is the fan support out there?
fan
for
support.
Chivas?
Yeah,
Like the Clippers to the
exactly.
Lakers, as Bun B says. Exactly. Exactly.
Stadium was half full. Game wasn't sold out.
Oh,
So yeah, that should tell you the fan base for Chivas USA.
what are you expecting for the fan base when the Dynamo finally do get home?
Oh, game's already sold out. Sold out.
Woo,
5 months in
man.
advance. Game sold out.
Yep.
And I have a few tickets for a couple of people here. So
I know you got a ticket for Bun B. I know you got a ticket for Godoma. I know you got a ticket for the Rat Pack.
I got them.
All right, because I'm gonna have to give up my credentials just so you can get in there and cover the game from front to back, side to side, locker room to the field.
I'm ready.
Who are they going to play in the home opener?
Home opener playing DC United, who is I have my shout out to Ruben being in the house. Yeah, he's another MLS follower. He predicts that the DC United is the team in the East this year. So I have my differences with him.
Well, what does that matter though? Because last year we dealt with LA, who's in the West. Right now, the Dynamo are in the West.
No, we're in the East. Dynamo in the East.
Dynamo are in the East.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I can't keep up with it because
Yeah.
they've done it where it's been two teams in the same conference can face each other.
It's very confusing. Let him try and explain to you the playoff system.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll
you'll
wait till we
just-
get to the
Yeah,
playoffs
but-
before he
yeah,
starts
that's-
explaining the
that-
playoff
that's
system.
confusing in
That's
its
for
own way.
sure. So, oh yeah, thank you very much, DJ Gons. That's right.
It was
That's
just-
how Luis is on the Dynamo.
It was just a huge win this weekend for Dynamo. The Galaxy lost last night, which was a surprise at home against another top favorite in the West, against Real Salt Lake.
Okay.
FC Dallas won today over the New York Red Bulls. Even though I don't want to give props to Dallas, but
Yep.
any team that beats the East.
Yeah, our boys from Diamond Supply Co. were at the opening LA Galaxy game to watch that loss live and in person.
Get a taste of it.
Shout out to Tony and Select Sean out there watching the Galaxy lose.
Sorry, guys.
While Nick's having a baby.
That's right. That's right. Well, Luis, you're going to keep us updated on the MLS.
Yes, sir.
Shout out whoever scored the winning goal today.
Oh, that was Andre Hanot, a Canadian national. Watch out for him. Big threat. A shout out to Jeff Cameron, who's going to showcase his talent this year. And you're going to find out why he's going to be a regular call-up for the United States national team.
Awesome.
Jeff Cameron. So be
Awesome.
ready.
You are on your game.
I'm on my game. I told you, ever since Thursday, I'm pumped up. I'm hyped. I'm ready.
You see this kid?
Get your Spanish skills up. We'll get Messi on in no time.
That's right. Absolutely. We need you to effort Messi for us, please.
Hey, what's up with Ronaldo's, what is it, his Lambo got towed away this weekend? That's about all the soccer news I heard.
What happened?
Ronaldo?
He was driving to some party, and his car broke down. I think it was his new Murcielago broke down or something like that. He had two of his assistants stay behind while the tow truck came.
He can
That's
do that.
swag.
He can do that.
Messi wouldn't have done that.
What would Messi have done? What would Messi do?
He would wait with his team right there. They're two different guys, man.
He would have had a driver. I know that for sure.
Probably so. Probably so. All right, well, let's continue Shout-Out Sundays. Luis, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, now when's the Dynamo's next game?
Next game is Saturday against San Jose Earthquakes. So next Saturday.
Formerly the Houston Dynamo.
That's just not a good name.
The Earthquakes.
The San Jose Earthquakes, you're just asking for some bad stuff to happen.
They used to be called the San
It's
Jose
going
Clash.
it's going too literal with the city, with that state.
Like, why don't you just name
earthquakes and
yourself
everything.
the Southern California natural disasters? I mean, just get it over with.
Or the Houston Hurricanes.
They were
Yeah,
called-
that sounds real
They
nice.
were called the Clash before they changed their name to the Earthquakes.
Were they the Clash?
Clash.
San Jose Clash.
I can deal with the Clash. I like the Clash. And we still tipping right here. All right, let's continue with Shout-Out Sundays. I know Kadoma's got some shout-outs. Slide over here, Doma. Luis, great job. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Gons, shout it out, man. I know you got one.
I got a quick one. One for the wife for babysitting 5 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, where is she?
Nothing was destroyed when I got home, thankfully.
Is she still babysitting? No,
Nice.
she's over here at the bar.
She clocked out.
Oh, that's right. Clock out, girl. Clock out, girl.
Clocked out today.
Absolutely. Well, I got to send a shout out to Al the Barber and Martin from amphouston.net. Happy birthday, boys. You know, Rat Pack in the building.
ups to Martin.
We celebrate
Holding it
birthdays all
down.
the time. Of course, man. Hey, thank you guys very
A
much.
whole lot of March birthdays.
If it wasn't for amphouston.net, they wouldn't have a show.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're going to have that podcast posted real
I mean, we
soon.
would have one, but I mean, people would really know we had one.
That's right.
You know.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, Andrew, I'm going to continue with you. Shout out Sundays.
Shout out to the field of 68 if you made it in. And if you didn't, look for that NIT. And if you didn't make that, maybe you're like Rice and you got invited to the CIT.
What the hell is the CIT?
I don't know. I don't know.
Calculus Invitational
It's like
Tournament.
the college invitational tournament. It's got to, you know how the NIT stands for
Bun B. Hang on. What is the CIT? Should Rice be proud of going to the CIT?
Or maybe it's the CBI. I don't even know what it is.
You
I
should
think
always,
it's the CBI. I think
you
it's
should
the
always
CBI.
be proud to be an owl.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
The CBI.
They didn't get that call today.
You should always be proud to be an owl.
Proud to be an owl.
The NIT is the not in tournament. The CBI has got to be
You are silly. You're silly, man.
Crap in tournament.
I want to give a shout out. My
Bun B,
Sunday
of course.
shout out
Of course.
is to the Lamar Cardinals for making it into the bracket this year. This is an incredible opportunity for all those young men over there in Southeast Texas, man. They're in Beaumont. They're doing their thing over there, man. And I just want to say hats off to those guys because we don't get a lot of things that we can celebrate and take pride in Southeast Texas. So shout out to Lamar Cardinals. And I'm picking them as an underdog upset over Michigan State first round. First time 16.
Whoa.
First time 16th seed
Whoa.
has ever beat a number 1 seed.
Whoa.
First round history.
That's love right there.
Andrew won't even look me in the eyes when I say this. He's like that's wishful thinking, bud. That's wishful thinking, bud.
You're putting it out there, not me.
Well, and hey, who'd have thought they would even made the tournament after what they went through with Pat Knight?
I feel like if they can make it this far, who knows what can happen. And
We will throw
somebody's got to be
party.
cheering for these guys.
But, all right, if Lamar, right here on air, on the
Yes.
Amp Houston podcast, if Lamar beats Michigan State, you are throwing a party in honor of
I don't want to party with those Lamar guys. Did you hear what Pat Knight was talking about? That's going to be too crazy
Hey,
a party.
hey, chill out.
That's too crazy of a party for me.
I've already partied with the Cardinals. I'm
I'm sure he has.
Okay.
My probation officer said no more.
Woo!
No more. No, but seriously, I'm definitely, if those guys beat Michigan State, I'll go to the next pep rally and do a couple songs.
You heard it right here. And we
Wow.
will
Kadoma, you could tweet that.
Wow.
tweet it.
Yeah,
and,
man.
And we will all show up for that. And we will get on a on a podcast.
That's the thing. If Lamar University beats Michigan State, I will pay for Sports Rap Live to go to Lamar. We will broadcast from Lamar University.
Go Lamar.
Is that at the Ford Center?
No, the Montaigne. Well, the Ford. They probably play in the Ford Arena now.
Yeah,
It used
yeah.
to be the old Montaigne Center, but now they play in the Ford Arena.
You
we're
heard
going,
it right there.
We're going to campus though.
On campus.
We're going to go to campus.
All right, there it is. It's on the podcast. You guys caught it. You got it.
All you got to do is beat the Spartans, and I'll see you on the yard.
All right.
Adam, shouts out in 2 days, Tuesday night, the first games of the tournament start up.
Cannot wait, Bun. Cannot wait for that.
If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what else will.
No, absolutely not. We
Man.
need to send that. We need to send that directly to the athletic
Yeah.
department and let Pat Knight play that in the locker room. Bun B is putting up a party on campus. Look at Andrew. Oh man. All right, you got a shout out, Kadoma?
Yeah, shout out once again to Conrad and Sarah for holding down
Conrad.
Conrad.
And
You get that all the
Sarah
time.
for holding down the swag table over there.
They're
Look
holding
like
it
they
down,
cleaned us
definitely.
out tonight.
Yeah, shout out to our lovely late waitress Lindsay for taking such
Where
great
is
care
Lindsay?
of us here at Dave and
Is
Buster's
Lindsay
tonight.
still here? I need to order some food, Lindsay. It's
Shout
about
out,
damn time.
shout out to
Working
Rat
hard. She's
Pack.
working
Look at
hard
her. Here
over
she
there.
comes.
She's working hard.
There she is. Shout out to
Absolutely.
Lindsay for taking such great care of us tonight here at
Hand
Dave and
selected
Buster's.
to take care of the Rap Pack tonight. Lindsay, great job.
Shout out to the Rat Pack for falling through Dave and Buster's, where you
Absolutely.
can catch Sports Talk 790 here on the 23rd, 24th, and we will be back on the 25th. So, one last shout out. Make sure you get on that sports790.com bracket challenge
I want to win me a billiard room.
Hell yeah.
and fill out your bracket to win that free game room from Billiard Factory.
Awesome.
So you can host a party like Bun B Trilogy for the Rat Pack.
That's right. And shout out to our executive producer, Bun B. You know, he comes out and supports Sports Rap Live, supports the good people that love hearing Sports Rap Live, and supports what we're doing in our movement right here for the trillest sports talk radio show.
You got
here
2 more tickets?
in Houston.
Shout
we
out
do.
to this last pair of Rockets tickets on the table right here
Yep.
for Wednesday night versus the Bobcats.
Yep. I think, you know what? I think we should do?
Do some Fear Factor stuff? Gonna eat some
no,
crazy stuff?
No. I think we should give those to
Oh.
Martin and his lovely
Yeah.
friend over here for his birthday. Because today is his actual birthday. Martin, you got a free pair of Rockets tickets.
I think he was gonna take a waitress out. I'm just saying.
Why not? Why not? That's how he rolls, baby. Happy birthday, man.
I had,
Those
to
are
get,
for
I had
you.
to get at least one of those for me. That's all.
All right, all right. Well, hey,
I
thanks
kid,
to
I kid.
everybody. And if you see us out there, shout us out because we're going to take a little hiatus. We'll be back not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Kadoma and I will be out there at South by Southwest. You guys will be here in Houston holding down wherever you are watching the
Good
tournament.
luck parking.
We're gonna be watching the tournament, watching these trades go down, watching NFL free agency. We're gonna have a whole lot to talk about when we come back.
Absolutely. You know who else is going to have a whole lot to talk about tomorrow morning? The Big Show with Matt, Adam, and of course Lance Zerline. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday for more Sports Rap Live and more action from around the sports rap world. Ladies, good night. Fellas, good morning. That's a wrap.
Sports rap.